Good morning, everyone. It is November 3rd, 2025. It's Monday, everyone. We're starting it off week. First, let's start off by saying if you are enjoying these videos, please click the like and subscribe button. That would really help us out. Let us know that you're there. Drop us a comment down below. We'll be sure to answer you if you have any questions or even if you just want to say hi, right? So let's jump into it. Hold on a second. There we go. So last we left off, we were in this section right here. I believe we were here on Friday, like right around here, and the weekend was kind of a little bit odd. It was definitely playing some games as I was watching it. But again, I don't really I don't trade the weekends. It's very tempting sometimes, but there's a reason why I don't trade the weekends, because there's a lot of manipulation and moves. I mean, basically all the big money is out of the chart, and anyone can kind of move it if they've got some some good funds and stuff like that, and they just like to play some games. So I'd rather not play some games. I'd rather be outside and be a part of the world for once, right? So anyway, so where I was is, first of all, I have a short that is running still. I took a short up here, and I've taken profit along the way. What I am looking for as kind of a review is from last week is I'm looking for this section to be hit right here. Now we are making our way down. We're making our way down, and I expect to have some kind of reaction right over here. But what I'm looking for is ultimately I'm looking for it to tap in and then start to work its way back up. So yeah, so that's the plan. It's still the same plan from last week, as you saw. What I did want to go over was kind of this weekend action. I wanted to go over exactly what was going on this weekend and how the chart moved, because I think it was really important to show you this kind of like tip, right? So anyway, I made this line over here last week. This was Friday, right around here. So this was Friday. We worked our way back up. And what happened is the volume started to kick off. Let's see what time it was actually when we got to the top here. Yeah, so. Yep. So towards the end of the day, the volume started to kick off. And, well, we came right back down to the beginning of Friday, right over here, right? And over the weekend, it slowly started to work its way up here. But here's the thing. Regardless of what the chart was doing on the weekend, whether it was, going down or up or anything like that, this line right here was super relevant, right? Because this is an area of rejection, right? It tried to get above here on Friday, and it failed. So this is a swing failure pattern right over here. So this becomes your marker, sort of say. So as you see on Saturday and leading into Sunday, we've tapped this a couple times. We've tapped it here. I'm going to call that, basically we're right there, right? We tapped it again. We failed again, and we tapped it one more time. It's at this point where this line really does become a relevant area of rejection, right? And you can see Sunday, it tried to like spike up and take anybody out, but the line was set as far as resistance goes. And if you were to take a short on this on Sunday, you did very well, especially if you did it on Ethereum, right? So when you're looking at these charts, especially when it comes to the weekend, I would definitely mark up your charts as kind of like where the resistance was, or even where Friday ended, right? And see how the chart moves from there, because it gives you a really good idea as to, what's really happening. Now, it seems that, it's business as usual, right? We were heading down. We got a little bit of a spike up, but ultimately this is the spot. That's the spot. So I'm considering on taking a long right over here, maybe right around here if we get there, to kind of like catch this reaction. Now, my play will work like this. As this chart goes down and it starts to bounce, I would catch a long, right? And the long would last for probably around right over here, let's just say. And then I would take my profit, right? And then if it comes back down to kind of revisit to take anybody out over here, I may end up either closing my long out or adding on to my long to kind of get into this section over here to DCA, so that my entry is really low here. So that's what I'm considering right now. I'm not really sure if this is really worth the swing, but I may do it. So I'm looking for this area here for a long, or to really kind of grab this opportunity right there. I don't think we're moving up just yet. I really do feel like we've got some unfinished business towards the bottom of the range. And honestly, it's so close. Why not? I mean, at this point, like think of everybody's mindset at this point. This is where there's going to be more fear in the market, right? So there's going to be fear the more that it goes down. And the more that it goes down, it'll definitely create an opportunity, right? For you to kind of like, you know, when there's fear in the market, that's when you really want to start buying, right? You want to do the opposite of what the crowd is saying. So it looks like we are kind of heading down that rabbit hole, right? And yeah, now this section here, this is where I really want to see Bitcoin bounce. I want to see it bounce there. I'm hoping to get along here, and I might be even, depending on how it's moving, you know, I may build, and when I say build, I'm meaning like multiple, you know, entries to kind of like kind of stack up. I may build a good size long here. I'm not going all in, but this is definitely an area worth looking at, right? So that's where we are right now. Let's go take a look over at Bitcoin dominance at the moment. Yeah, so we are breaking above. We are heading to the other side of the channel. And this idea that I had before has been, you know, it's irrelevant now. So it's coming to the top of this channel here. And again, we've got this wick, right? So the wick kind of plays the role too. I mean, on any chart, a wick definitely plays a role, even on Bitcoin dominance, right? So this wick does need to be filled out. Whether it's going to fill it out now because it's time, or later, I'm not really sure, right? But Bitcoin does have some dominance there, which means that Ethereum is having you know, a little bit more of a slumpy time. And here we are right here on Ethereum. And what I was looking for is I'm looking for this area to get hit for Ethereum, right? Like just hit and bounce. That's what I'm looking for, a bounce in this area, especially getting closer to this red line over here, right? If we can get to this red line, then I think it's worth longing Ethereum and really kind of taking its ride wherever that point is, right? Because Ethereum has been feeling very, very weak against Bitcoin. Now, mind you, I will say this, Ethereum is making some pretty impressive moves, right? Like these candles are not, you know, something to scoff at, right? These are 15% moves, this range here, right? And, you know, there's opportunity to make money on each one of these, even on a small, you know, 5% move up, right? If you're playing leverage or anything like that. I mean, it's definitely, you know, worth playing, but it's just a little bit too volatile for me right now. And if you notice, like we are in this range right here, you see this? And it looks like we're about to break out of that range. And again, I'm looking for this candle to be tapped out. Once this candle is tapped out, depending on where it goes, right? Meaning like, you know, we kind of like overshoot this candle a little bit, like right around here somewhere. If we get to this zone and we overshoot the candle or even match it, yeah, I would be looking for a long in this area. But I'm going to concentrate on Bitcoin first, right? So I'm going to look for Bitcoin's move before I really kind of decide whether we've gone low enough for Ethereum, right? Because there is a good possibility that we come over this far down here, right, for the bounce. And this is a pretty big gap between here and there. And the reason why is because, again, you know, there's this area here, which is a 12% move. This area here is empty, right? We don't really have, excuse me, we don't really have anything that's on the left of this that's kind of filling this area here, right? So in doing so, in filling this candle, it could very well just pow and then start to work its way up. But at this point, I don't really see that. I do see this as being, hey, if this was support and this was support, then we need to have some kind of reaction right around here, right? And if it needs to go lower at that point, it will. But I definitely feel like the reaction and the opportunity is right towards the bottom of this range here, right? So the other thing is we took a look at these alts, these altcoins, right? So these alts have been, let's go to something like this. I was talking about, you know, how we were kind of like stuck in this middle here, which we are, and how I was starting to feel like we were going to head down to fill these candles in. Once we fill these candles in, even if we surpass going lower, I would say, you know, in my opinion, it might be time to start looking at some of these places where these coins have ended up to see if you can grab an opportunity to kind of come back and, you know, revisit this top. Every single one of these tops that it dropped from is a target, okay? someone lost a lot of money in those zones. So the charts need to come back up because someone's holding right up there that wants to get out. So if it does come down over here, the idea is that it starts working its way back up to this part right here. And if you look at like some of these, now I'm using APE as an example. If you look at what the stretch is, this is almost a 300 to 290% move, right? So, and a lot of these kind of look the same, you know. They're looking like, except for Tau. My goodness, Tau. By the way, if you ever want to look at a project, I definitely would mention this one is on the radar for sure. But you could see like some of these other ones that have some history, they are starting to slope down, right? So really, if you are an altcoin player, you are looking at this area here to kind of like get filled out and possibly get an entry, right? Or even DCA in at that point, recover some of the losses that you've had on some of these altcoins. Right now, though, I am concentrating on Bitcoin. It looks like we have finally broken through through that zone there, and we're working our way down. So, oh, look at this. Ethereum is 6% down. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, it's starting to look like, you know, radar up. We might be in a long zone soon, right? So, all right, guys. Oh, you know what? Let's take a look at S&P 500 real quick. Ah, yes. So, last we left off with this, I made a mark here saying that we needed to fill this gap. And, yeah, we're almost there. We are almost there. So, I did mention that the S&P is feeling like we are really at an area of this I don't know, this feels like the top to me for the S&P 500, right? So what that means, I'm not really sure. Do we struggle in this area like this? Yeah, we possibly can, because you know the change of direction usually looks like this, right? So we can definitely kind of like stump around, but at this point I would definitely be on high alert for this S&P 500 at this point, right? And see what's happening. Right, so keep that on your radar. Anyway, so that's the game. That's where we are. Oh, looks like we're running through. Let me see if I got something here. Hold on. Oh yeah, I'm almost there. I'm almost towards taking my next take profit. I've got a from this zone here, which I got you know, a nice TP coming up. So anyway, all right, guys, have fun. Be safe, please. And yeah, you know, if anything, I'm going to give you this this straight up alert. This is the zone. We're looking here. This is it. This is a pretty big gap, but this is it. So, okay. Talk to you soon, guys. Have a good one. Bye.